I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
I have the future of rock and roll with me. Obviously, he comes from great pedigree, and we're excited for his new band, OTTTO, to have their new album out. Tye, hi, man. How are you?
Doing good, man. Just staying on top of it.
It's good. And on top of it, there's a lot that you have to stay on top of outside of, history homework and algebra and getting ready for all the high school stuff. Then you got an album and a tour. I'm going to be honest, man. I could barely keep myself in school, let alone release an album and go on tour. What's the secret? Yeah. Is youth the secret?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, luckily, lately I've been on spring break, so everything's been going to music.
I was never as cool as you, so I'm jealous. I just wish we could have a little bit of it. I wish I could have a little bit of it. Now at 36, I feel like the ship has sailed. Well, anyway, all joking aside, on a serious note, like you mentioned, focusing more on the music, having some time there, and your band OTTTO dropped your album, Life is a Game. How are the nerves at this point? I know that's a very exciting thing. There's a lot of buildup. How's the band feeling now that Life is a Game is out?
It's quite relieving. It took a good while to put together and everything, and it feels good to finally get the songs out there and people can finally listen to them, because it's just like this itch to just get it out there.
Well, we're very excited and have already listened to it, dug into it, and I want to talk about the sound, because I never like pigeonholing a sound of a band. I think that's one of the worst things you can do, because there's so many influences, there's so many sounds, and you can pick up on that in this album. How do you, in your opinion, what's that key to bringing all of those influences together to get the OTTTO sound and what you guys put on this album?
The key, I think we all listen to a bunch of different stuff. We all see just a bunch of stuff every day, like being around nature, being around, the urban environment. We just take in elements of those things and use it to drive our creativity to make these songs. The best way I think to put it is we just take in things from everyday life and just put it in.
I love that, because there's funk, there's metal, there's punk in there, thrash going on, and a sound well beyond your years, which was cool to see. And again, the pedigree that the whole band comes from, it's easy to say where you pull that from. Is there other times where the musical parts of your family, maybe your dad or other one, come in and maybe you get those influences that are dropped in and the stuff that they've brought to you and you grew up listening to?
For sure. I mean, growing up around, seeing him play, and, seeing bands play, being around music growing up definitely influenced me to write stuff. Being around music just kept driving me, and, the other guys as well. Is
there something maybe you listen to that people would be surprised that you listen to? I mean, do you throw on some country western every once in a while? Like, is there something that would surprise people that Tye Trujillo listens to?
I listen to Tame Impala, and I don't know if some people might be surprised about that. I'll listen to sometimes electronic music. This guy called Floating Points, he does cool stuff, with all analog synths. I'll listen to this band called Beach Fossils, indie rock band. But there's a bunch of stuff.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, it's cool to see the influences come through on this new album. Yeah. Life is a Game. Do you maybe got a favorite track on the album? One that you really I know that's a hard question, but I love asking to see if there's one that really resonates with you.
Yeah. So one track I really dig, the first kind of song I really resonated with, and just really looked at it. I'm like, dude, this song is so sick, was Skyscraper. When I first heard Skyscraper with all the instruments, I'm like, dude, this riff is so sick. This song, the composition of this song is just, it's groovy, heavy, just melodic, everything. I think it's just amazing to be in a position of hearing a song for the first time, because you'll never be able to be in that position ever again after the first time you hear it. There's a certain reaction to it that's just so sick.
Well, I love it, man. And again, everyone's got a full taste now of the latest album. So this is the second album from OTTTO. What maybe stood out in making this one that you noticed that compared or is different from the first one?
The first one was a lot more pre-OTTTO. Brian and I, used to play in a band when we were little kids, and we put together, these songs and stuff with some of those riffs and melodies were written when we were just real young when you were first starting out. And I think these songs feel a lot more confident in our musicianship with this album compared to the previous one. And just like we were really able to like take our time and like figure out what works best for like each song.
Yeah. So maybe a more mature sound. Did you feel more at ease this go around when you were in the studio, kind of having that experience in there and able to bring that into this album?
Yeah, there was a little more ease and just to experiment with what sounds best. There's less pressure. Everyone was just like had all this time to do whatever. We were able to really like look at these songs and just like doctored it up a lot, you know?
Yeah. Did you also maybe find yourself almost over analyzing some things at a point? Was that ever an issue where you're like, oh, maybe we need to step away from this because you got too much time?
Yeah, sometimes like when, going out the way and trying too many things can like lead to that for sure. Whenever we like overanalyze something, we would step away from this for now and then we can come back to it later on.
Let's go get some pizza, go surfing, whatever. We'll come back and we'll get this figured out. We'll get this figured out.
Yeah, exactly.
Discover new music now on the homepage of WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Brock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.
Now, I do want to touch on something, and you got to have a pretty surreal moment not terribly long ago in the midst of all this you're already doing. In almost a Trujillo Inception-esque moment, you got to add some guitar parts on a song for the smash hit Stranger Things. And I know you probably talked this to death, but it's just so cool. And the song was from a band that people probably know your dad from, Metallica.
Yeah.
For you, though, as an artist, what was it like being able to put your own spin? This is Tye's take on this. What was that like for you?
Feels an honor to be a part of, the soundtrack to such a huge show, especially around the young generation. It's, iconic series, well-known series and a legendary song, Master of Puppets. So it feels good to, be a part of that. This genre of music takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to create. And I think a lot of people nowadays are paying attention to other genres of music rather than, metal music, or rock music. And I think it's really awesome to see that rise up again.
Yeah, that center stage and again opening up to such a mass audience, and it's huge. I can't stress the fact of how big that show is and that being a part of that. So it was just really cool to see that next generation get into it and with you playing on there. So really cool. Congratulations all
thank you
as well. Lastly, before we do rapid fire, what's more stressful, an 8 a.m. history exam or getting on stage with Korn or Suicidal Tendencies or your band in front of a huge crowd?
I think, when it's school stuff, it's like you don't really want to. It's not something you really, want to do.
Right.
With music stuff, it's like I'm motivated to go and do it, But luckily for my school situation, it's not. We don't have to do like exact exams. Like it's like more of a presentation kind of form. A lot more easier for me to get around.
Before you go, let's do rapid fire. There's no wrong answers with this. You just go with your gut. We're going to learn a little bit more about you. All right. First things first, pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
What's your favorite topping?
I like basil. Basil a lot as a topping. Margarita pizza is just amazing.
Even your palate is refined. Even your palate is nice. A margarita pizza.
Yeah, it's classic, man.
It's good stuff. Okay. Yeah. And now this might be a little dated for you because I'm not sure. Flintstone Push Pop or Choco Taco?
Flintstone Push Pop. Is that like a candy?
It's so, man, see, this is a dated one. I always ask older musicians. They know exactly. Yeah. It's a like a ice cream pop that's in like a little cardboard tube. It was huge when you went to the pool, at least when I was a kid. And it was like orange cream flavored and you'd push it up. And it was, if you ate too much of it, you'd poop orange. How about that? That's what it was. So,
and then the other one was
Choco Taco. And see, now they've discontinued those. So your generation doesn't use Choco Tacos. We'll move on from that one. Don't worry about that.
I'm not familiar. If I was, I wish I could answer that question.
I'll have to, next time I interview, I'll think of a more Gen Z. Okay. Would you rather have soaked jeans or damp socks?
Probably damp socks, because the jeans are just all over your, all over the second half of your body, and it's just like
rides up on you on a hot day. I know where you're at, man. I go too. Would you rather see Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Loch Ness Monster. That's a sea monster, right?
Yeah, that's the one over in Scotland there.
Like, as in, like, see him from a distance, or like see him like as in like kind of like an actual close interaction. Like,
I'm saying maybe like 20 yards away. You're walking along the beach and there's Nessie, or you're in the woods and it's like right over there.
Yeah, I'd rather see probably Loch Ness Monster, just because it just looks just that the sea monster just I think it would just be interesting to see, because like the ocean has so many things like people don't know about. It's so undiscovered, so I'd probably get more stoked on that.
It's true. It is, man. That water's scary, dude. I keep my ass out of it as much as I can.
Yeah.
It's in there. Something touches my foot. All right, last one. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Probably one. Yeah, probably one horse-sized duck, because then if there's a bunch of like duck-sized horses, then like that's just a lot of stuff running around.
You get tripped up, they trample you. You're toast, man. You're toast.
Yeah.
Kicking you in the ankles. All right. You handled that very well. Also was good for me, because now I need to rework some of the questions, especially the push pop, the younger gentleman. Well, hey, man, really excited for you. You're a stand-up kid, and excited for the band and what is to come. Again, everyone, OTTO, Life is a Game. It's out now. Go check it out. It rocks, and hopefully plenty more from Tye Trujillo and the rest of the guys in the band. Tye, thank you so much for the time, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, thank you. Yeah.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
All right. Talk to you soon, man.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Brock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.